Here's a couple of quick tips for your TT-01. This one here will only work if you're using aluminum steering knuckles. Most of the TTs have a problem up here with the little ball joint, the steering ball joint up here, where it's really loose. So what you need to do is you pull it off. Okay. Once you got it off, you need to sand a little bit of this piece here. Obviously you need to sand it as flat as possible, but even that's not really that important, because what you want to do is take off a little bit of the material here, so what happens is when you go to tighten it down, it actually squishes the ball to widen it and takes off all the play that's inside here. And since I've done it, I can actually feel the ball is actually tighter inside the unit. Now once you've done that, now this only works, like I said, with the aluminum steering knuckles, because with the plastic ones you won't be able to tighten it enough to be able to squish the ball. So plastic ones, what's going to happen is you're going to strip your screw hole, and that's not going to work. So only with the aluminum steering knuckles will this work. The next tip, which is quite important, which will allow you to have a much smoother and much more stable wheel. Yeah, I put these on quite tight. Okay, so once you got the wheel in your hands, you'll see that if you hold it like this, you can move it back and forth or up and down or sideways. You can do a complete circle with it. You can see it here more. So in order to fix this, you need to add some shims. In order to be able to do that, you get some 12mm hex drives that you can tighten onto the shaft. The reason for this is it's going to allow you to put the shims in and play with it and adjust it so that you can get the best result. So this one's a bit loose. I already done my other ones. So what you need to do is get yourself some different thicknesses of 5mm shims. Now what these will do when you put them on is they'll add a little bit of meat or material, if you will, and you add, what I got was I got 0.1, 0.2 and 0.3 thicknesses, and I play out along with those. You add 1, you add 2, you add 3, you put 1 of one side. If you add, I don't know, if you add 2 times 3mm and it's too thick, then you put 2 times 3 and 1 times 2, or 2 times 3 and 1 times 1. Anyway, you play around with them until you get the right thickness. Now what you do is, just before you tighten it, you squeeze them together like this, and then you tighten. Now let's see if it did anything. Yeah, see, I got a little less play, and it's still smooth. What I look for when I'm doing this is you want it to stay smooth, but you want to get rid of most of the play. You're always going to have some play, but you want to get rid of most of it. So you keep adding shims until you get the right feel. So see, this one's a bit loose still, so I'm going to add another one. And the moment that you feel that your bearings are rubbing or grinding, if you will, you have to go back to a smaller size or remove one of the shims. So here goes one more piece. Put this back on. Squeeze it together, tighten it up. There we go. I got a smooth ride, smooth finish, and most of the play is gone. So that's pretty much the extent of what I can do. Now, I'll put the wheel back on, because the wheel really shows you the extent of the play. Oops. Alright. So you can see there's a little bit of resistance. That will work its way through. And look, it barely moves. So this, adding shims here, adding shims to here, sanding this piece down will extremely help your cornering and suspension functioning, if you will, simply because the suspension will work instead of just bouncing around inside the play area. This is one of the reasons the TT-01 is all over the place on a track. You do one turn, it'll be nice, and the next turn your geometry will be all completely off, and you know, you won't be able to, it won't handle the same way anymore. So just that will take care of a lot. Nice and tight. There we go. So now we got nice steering, barely any play. Yeah, see, that's a normal amount of play for an RC car. That's really nice and smooth. Works well. Now, one of the other things I've done, which I also have made another video for, was the slot play for the suspension travel this way, which was added. I added some grub screws here and here. These allow you to really fine-tune the suspension and get rid of most of the play as well. As you probably take a stock TT-01 and play with the suspension this way, and you'll notice a lot of movement. These will take care of most of that movement, and the beauty of it is you can adjust this even when the car is fully assembled. So a lot of people on my other video were saying that, you know, just add some shims inside here. You know, a lot of people were saying just to add shims, spacers over here, or on the other side here. But the problem with that is you got to take it apart, add the shims, put it back together, take it apart. This method is you install the screws. Actually, you can do it, the car's fully assembled for that matter. Install these, and then you take your shocks off, and then you keep playing with the suspension and tightening it until it binds, and then you back off and it goes back down. Check out the other video. It's a very big explanation on how to do it. This, by the way, is my inverted TT-01. As you can see, my motor is here. I got all my steering set up here. Currently don't have this thing attached, but that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about here. is, if you notice here, I have a little rubber grommet. What this does is it takes care of the play, because it tightens up the ball inside the cup and takes care of a lot of the play. Now you can use O-rings. O-rings from size-wise, the O-rings from Shocks do a good job. I get these little rubber bushings here that I use all the time, but not everybody has access to those. So check it out. You just take this off, put this on here, pop this back on. You'll see, look, the play is gone. So let's compare it to this side. If you look at it here, so you can see the play. I'll take it out and do the same thing to this one. Okay, put this on there. Now you can see you got rid of the play here, but there's still some up here. So we'll do the same again up there. You see, no more play.